do education on child abuse and early child marriage, and we told all the districts within the eastern region, and I can tell you that the community members are so accommodating. We're given the opportunity to talk to the younger ones why they should abstain from improper way of having sex, and even to abstain from sex, so that they can educate themselves very well and become responsible citizens. And so the traditional leaders, the community members, welcome us to the various communities, and we had that project very successful. We did evaluation after monitoring evaluation after the project, and we could even see that they even wanted us to even have several projects aside the early child marriage that we embarked on. The community members made us realize that there is another outbreak of children involving in other aspect, which was not good for the community member. The Okada boys involving in stealing and other stuff, taking tramadol, and a lot. And so we also made them aware that we'll be coming their way again when we get funding, so that we can use drama to educate the general public. So I think Eastern Region and its suburbs, they welcome the work that the Center for National Culture does for national development.
Okay. If you're just joining us, we are still here with Madam Dorcas Salamatu Alhassan. She's a director for Center for National Culture. Now, you've been a director, a lady, a woman for that matter, as a director in the center. What has been the impact of Ghanaian music and dance in your life personally?
Music is a language. Music is a communicator. Music is a healer. Music does so many things in our lives. There are so many things that we can talk about what music does significantly, but I want to narrow it within the concept of traditional kind of music and dance that we have in our communities. Now we are talking about celebrating our heritage. Okay. Heritage without music and dance is something that we can do away. Music and dance is a common language. When you go to our various community, when we were children, it was music that was used as a communication to tell people the happiness of that era. And so if there was something that is foreign to the community, they will use dondo or bell or something, and they sing. An individual will sing to signify that there is something that is happening that is not good, or there is something that is good for community members to gather and talk about. So we cannot do anything without our music. It is a common language. When we talk about dance does a lot for us. You talk about therapeutic experiences, benefit. You talk about the healing process. People in their various communities get healed whatever way somebody thinks. And if you talk about intangible cultural heritage aligned with music and dance, it is a key, because one have the belief that if they sing a particular song, traditional song for me, I will get healed. One have the belief that if I'm frustrated and they sing a song, I will get healed. And even music and dance, music, lullabies that we speak for our children to go to sleep, it is a magic, and that is the importance of music. When we have our festivals, we have our naming ceremonies, we have celebrations, even in the confines of church, mosque, everywhere, music and dance play a key role. And so it is a vast area that we don't have to take it for granted. We don't have to let it go. We don't have to leave it as if it is not something that is good for us. We have to embrace it. Then one thing I can also talk about the importance of music and dance is education. Now we have people who are professors in the field of music and dance. I hold an MPhil in music education, and so it has given me that opportunity to also educate to people about my culture, about the importance of music and dance. It is also an element that connects us internationally. You see, most of our younger people now, especially musicians, are in the international world, and they are making it because of music and dance. So it is an area that is voluminous, area that is very important, area that will heal us as people.
Okay. So I see you colorfully, beautifully dressed, and you talked about specific. You made mention of, I quote, my culture. Would you want to tell our listeners what part of Ghana you're from, and let's start a demonstration from your side. Yeah.
Okay, I come from the upper east of Ghana, upper east region, and I hail from Bungu, and I'm a Frafra by tribe. I want to say something little in the form of music from my place, and I will tell you the significance of that.
Okay.
Mama yo yana titole, manini biti, so yo yana titole, manini biti, bia fumbola be, manini biti, mambola kikalanga tinga terambe, manini biti, yile katera tunini kambre. Manini biti. This is a storytelling, and UNESCO 2003 advocate for ICH. The ICH is intangible cultural heritage, and UNESCO had a partnership with Ghana, so that what they said was that our intangible cultural heritage is under threat. They have identified that years to come, Ghanaians will lose something that is very precious, and that is music is part. And so they partner with Folklore Board and then the National Commission on Culture for us to safeguard this intangible cultural heritage. Why intangible? Because it is something you cannot see but you believe. The song I just sang is something that a child who is truant, a child who doesn't respect, a child who goes away from the home late night and comes back in the evening, and the child's eye got blind. So she is crying, telling the mother and the father that they should open the door for him to enter because she cannot see anything. And the mother is telling him, asking him, where are you coming from? He said he was somewhere playing Oware. They said, if go back to where you were playing Oware. And the child was pleading that they should allow him to come in. It's a storytelling, telling the younger ones that do not be a truant girl. Be responsible. Do what is needed for you to do as a child. Obey your parents so that you can enjoy the life that God has given you. And so this is my intangible culture heritage that I pass on to generation. And UNESCO will tell you that it is oral tradition. UNESCO have 5 domains of ICH. They have craftsmanship, they have a oral tradition, and the rest. And it is very key that this oral tradition should be translated, should be given to generation to come, should be explained to them so that we will not lose our cultural intangible heritage.
Okay. We're still on here with you, ma'am.
Yes, I also want to add something a little. My team members will be coming in to talk about this better. I want to explain it in English. Then when they come, they add. People have, they do confuse depot and that of clamor. Yes, this depot or clamor is also our cultural intangible heritage. We can get the tangible from it, we can also get the intangible. The tangibles are the ones, the objects that we see, the drums that we see, they are tangible, we could feel them. The intangible is the history behind it, the element that we so cherish, that we think that within us it can do us something good. That is the intangible. We can't feel it, but we believe in it. When you take depot, for instance, the Krobo line, they perform depot for their girl child that is to be passed into adulthood. It is very significant in the life of these children, because it is expected that a child is supposed to keep herself, live moral life, and then you are ushered into motherhood. And so this is a moment that is so joyful for the individual child, girl child. Aside that, it teaches them their traditions and what they ought to do when they become mothers. And so the training process, the process of even taking somebody to pass through depot rituals is very important. Then when you talk about the songs that comes with it, the dances that comes with it, it's also another distinct thing. The dances during the depot, songs can be sung, but another context of portraying how depot is performed is the dance, the clamor dance. And so, for example, during Sif March anniversary, we had culture troops that came in to portray their culture by performing the rituals as the program was ongoing. And so it is depicted that this is how depot girl, and when she is to pass through motherhood or an adulthood, this is the process that is done. So depot and clamor dance, they are two distinct things, but they are intertwined because one is telling a story and then one is telling its story for itself, for cultural development and preservation.
Okay, so here we are, it's a Ghana month, Southern Ghana, talking about Ghana, everything about Ghana, and you've made mention of quite an interesting topic, the depot. Now, for someone who's hearing this word for the first time, or have heard you say it's about passing the young child into motherhood, would you want to walk such a person through the process? I know there are some things that you may not want to say publicly, but then just walk a first timer through what depot really is about. What is the process like?
Okay, so I have my team member who can do that.
Okay, please, let's bring your team member in and let's elaborate a little bit more on the depot.
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to do some movement.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Then she
Of course, there was demonstration in here as well. And I've got with me here Madame Dede, and she'll be walking us through the question that I had asked earlier on, and that is to walk us through the process of what it takes to, I mean, the poll that Madame Dorcas did speak about.
You, Neji Cloliomi, wa Hedrami, Kaje Juko Mike Amasanye the pool. Okay, why Hedrami can Benaka Master or the pool, wet no otunyo Amasanye the pool. Ne wanga kusum ne akamapi hani. Ne Hedrami okaje kaje Hene Amafia ye sineni maba. Kaka yi bani guamio bene wa drawa hiyo ni line ma di one ama wo mo mwe ama che mo subwe ama bu mo pe neke abu mo pe ama chomo bene ma hia onini bona ni neko osuni amio o mai mwe bene chuane wo seku ko ya na heko na abimu mo manye ma chon lo engemi fu bene wa ke drawa henge ke ya program fen ko isi ekoji kambene wanyimi no da asi no le dramio eno ne ka ko bagwa mi na wo modipo ehio ka sa modipo ehio kino no wa drawa he ne ke wa we wa no ne esubene wa magba ne bene piane amana kan hiom no genojo ne ne gi na sa di poji bena ma piano manyima ya ogwekuwe kasa omodipo echowe ka modipro no ja samodipo lo ka samodipo manyima ya wenfe time fe no su ne wa dra wa e ko wa bo kesu de no ma so gba no ki no ho no wa pa e dra wa he ne wo yi no koto mame ka wo no mo wi o me wo hu wa he dra mi o ki no ni wa dra wa he ne chumi. Oh, okay. Like what I was saying, Krogo, is when a Krogo person they want to do it to an adult, we go to a place where it's not that much shrine, but we have a particular place where we do that traditional deba for you, and we have a different type, and with the bit that we used to dress ourselves. Like I show the other one, the way we dress the younger ones, and when you are coming out adults, like you reach into marriage, we have that one to how we dressed. And an old lady like my own, that's how we also dress. And if they did not do that thing for you, you are not a Krubu. But if you want to go home, you need to do the traditional performances. Thank you.
Okay, so Madam Abigail, that's Dede, right? I've seen some markings on your body and all that. What's the significance of that?
Okay, to show the beauty of a woman. And we have, any tribe have this thing that they used to praise on themselves, but an ekrobo and guns, we use this shile that to prettify with the beat, because a lot of them that you will be using beat either in your waist or only your neck or only your hand. That's how to signify the program or the culture that you are performing to the others to watch you.
Okay, all right. I'm back to you, Madam Salamatu. Would you want to add a word or two to what Madam Dede has just said?
Yes, you do remember when we started, I was talking about the importance of music and dance. And what she has said is that this is the time, the moment that a child who is now an adult, so to speak, is ushered in. So she needs to be passed through all the process. Until you are passed through the process, you aren't going to be a Krobo girl, let's say a proper Krobo girl. And so you need to pass through all these things. Then significantly, you are now a grown person and a Krobo girl who is ready to become a woman. And I have seen that it is very significant because these days we are experiencing violences, we are experiencing immoral lives. If children are taught their culture, this process, just like the way when you are going to marry, you are taking through counseling, it's the same thing. Even the food they prepare for them with the eggs and then the etol and what of you, it is even preparing the child to be able to know that this is what I should do in the kitchen when I get married, or now that I'm an adult. They take you through counseling, and that makes you very unique person so that you can fit into society. So it is very important that we should not abhor traditions that are valuable, because the culture, I take you back to the cultural policy 204. It is against, the cultural policy is against traditions and norms that is very detrimental to human beings. That is against a people's right. But Dipo rituals is not something that a child will say she doesn't want. Every child wants to be part of the process because it is very adorable. It is something that makes you unique. Aside that, he was talking about the decoration on the body. Yes, it makes you unique. And when you are going to perform kitty dance, how you will be dressed is different from how you will be dressed when you are going to perform klama. So it is very unique. And how you will put things on your body, the shire, I don't know how it is. It's English name, I don't know. The English name, I don't know. But I think it's something that portrays us that, yes, this is our culture. This is where we are coming from. Then you now talk about the preservation. It is good that we preserve it, because if we eliminate it from our system, it means that in the near future, the generation to come would not know that this is what is there for them to preserve. When the people are coming here to learn our culture, why should we say that we don't need them? You see people who are from different regions, from different countries, international researchers coming to document our history, our music and dance. And so we should do well to preserve them for the generation.
Okay, so still on the Dipo aspect of it, if you just tune in, this is KTU Radio. We are here with Madame Salamatu. She's the director for the National Center for National Culture. Now, Madame, so far so good. I've heard you say the girl child, the girl child, the girl child. Is there something for the other gender, the boys, the men, that prepares them for adulthood?
Okay, yes. So it's because we are doing clamor, and that is why. But for the male, they are part, because not that they perform the for the male, but in the process, the male are involved in the process, because when it comes to singing, the male sings. The clamor songs are not meant for only the ladies. Though clamor dance, mainly women do it most, but men also dance. And so it is not for only the men, the women, the girls alone, but men are inclusive. But for the process of you becoming an adulthood, the girl child, this is what is performed for the girl child. And now social gathering. It's even for if you want to commercialize it, we do programs. Then they hide, then they go to perform. You portray your culture, then you have something in your pocket, and so we are creating jobs. We should not leave our culture, norms and values, because it will do us good economically, it will do us good socially, it will do us good in healthy wise. And so it is something that we have to keep them. If we learn how to eat our own food, we learn how to cook our traditional food, our health is assured, because we will not be taking too much of spices, artificial spices in our body system. And then this time we are recording diabetes, stroke and others. It's because we are eliminating our local cuisines. And so let me take the opportunity to even invite you today. We have a program right now, 10 o'clock, at the Center for National Culture. It's a cooking competition for various groups, and it is indigenous way of cooking, eating our food for healthy life.
Okay, that's an invitation that's been extended there. And so we've been here with Madam, and this is the point where I would want to say we're going to leave it open for the drumming, the dancing, because we did promise our listeners that there'll be drumming and dancing. For those who have their shoes on to dance, Kojo Nat said he was ready to dance, and this is the point we want to bring them in, and we leave, yes, KTU. And so Madam Salamatu, I would formally want to say thank you for coming to our studios this morning. We've had an interesting conversation with you, and now let's do lots of music and dancing. Let's showcase Ghanaian music, dance and drumming and all that. Let's see the beautiful colors that come out of this. And that's the sound of the drum. Is there a particular name for that drum?
Kitty dance.
That's a kitty dance. And so that drum that he's hitting over there, is there a particular name for it?
Yeah.
Okay. And the other one?
We call it a Bukwa or Petia.
Okay.
But when you go to Alhassan, they call it Petia, but here we call it Kukwa, and they call this one Kukwa in Alhassan, but we call it Adiwa because of how they sound.
All right. So, Madam Salamatu, over to your troops. Let's hear some music, dancing, and drumming. Okay, people, KTU, let's go. Time to dance. So I saw the lady dancing. She made some hand gestures, and I believe that they do mean something. Would you want to touch on the gestures that she made and what they actually mean?
They say culture is not a mere leisure activities. It is a mission for understanding, love, reconciliation, as well as a balm for the soul. And on every beat of the drum and every step of the dance, we honor our ancestors. So what she just performed is honoring our ancestors, praising the Almighty God, and also in a form of portraying the culture and the values in Ghana. And the dance that she just danced is called Kete. Kete dance, and it's from it's for the Ashantis, but it was through war that they conquered the people in the Kete in the Volta region. So they make it their own. So the dance is traditionally is war dance, but for now it's commercially and for educational purposes. So we have commercialized it and do it during funerals, events, and other wedding and other corporate events. So that's basically the
dance that she just played.
It's called Kitty.
Let me add something to what Obia Ofa just said. You saw her do like this.
Exactly.
Yes. So the guests, when I began, I said music and dance is a form of communication. So that is what exactly she was doing. And so in dancing, she could communicate to you for you to understand. And so if she does this, it means that we are one. And if she does this, it also has interpretation. And if she does something that will tell you this, then it means that she has conquered you. And so in guests, you see a lot of guests in Kete dance, and it's something that I can say that the guests in music and dance shows diversities in cultures. When you go to my hometown, we have something called Pobone. It's a dance. One could also communicate through the dance. And so in a platform where we have a Kete dance being performed, Pobone being performed, Dia performed, and then Klama being performed, then we are using our music and dance to communicate to ourselves and to others.
Okay. All right. So from the Kete dance, do we have another performance coming?
We have a lot of traditional dance, but for now we just brought Kete and Klama because the indigenous in eastern region here, that's the Kete, the Ashantis, that's Kete, and the Krobos, that's Klama.
Okay.
And from two is for the Achims and the Kriapin, but because of the
region where we are at the moment. Yes. So we have another dance coming up.
No
more.
Okay, let me add a little. He is the head of the performing and literal art, and they have trained people outside, and they can perform so many dances. Like he said, they can perform dances from Greater Accra, the Volta region, the Upper East, Northern region, Upper West. They can perform all that. But today's performance is limited for only these items, the Kete and the Klama. And if you want, you have your wedding, you have your maybe funeral, you want him to come and use his language. He's very versatile in the Akan language, and so she's a professional MC as well. And so if you need him, you can call him and he will do one. He will mention a word, you will not be able to explain it. So they do a lot. So you can also call and book them for your programs. If you want them to perform only Kete and Klama, it ranges. It costs, if you want them to do a dance multi-purpose, then it also have its prices.
Okay.
So you can if you want, you can come to the Center for National Culture, ask of the head of department, Ubia or any other person. He or she can direct you to the office. And also our line 0509 388988, 0509 388988 for bookings only. For bookings.
Okay, that's fine. So, Madam Salamatu, just before you leave, you've kind of like promoted of your offer. No, aside being the director for the center, what else do you do?
Okay.
Because it looks like you are so much into the tradition, our culture, music, and all of that.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. I do so many things. I run a program on the Facebook. I do Be Your Own Adventure every Mondays in the evenings. It's a platform that encourages youth to do well, to brand themselves, not to lose guard, not to feel deserted, and not to feel that their background can influence their future. And so we do so many things. We also emulate other successful men and women who have strived and then have become successful in their various business. So each day I bring a topic for discussion and I do presentation, and I encourage the youth a lot, and more especially the women. Then the Sunday on Salad Show, I bring people like yourself in the field of art and culture in all the disciplines, and they come to tell a story, what they have done in their various community, the impact they have made, and what they can do for the youth, and maybe support the need from the government or any organization that can help them to also reach to a larger body, so that we can curb this unemployment ratio in our country and beyond. And I'm a teacher by profession. I do part-time teaching, so I taught at the Gambaga College part-time. But for now, last semester I taught at UCC. I taught administration and then supervision in education. It's one of the music and dance courses. But because I have a background in education, I took that course. I taught for last semester. I don't know this semester if they called me again. So I'm a teacher. And aside that, if you need very palatable watching, I do all this.
Oh, really?
I will bring you samples and you see. I do very palatable. Yesterday somebody was telling me how the fellow told me she has not eaten these delicious stews before. I'll prepare palatable wachi. So if you want orders on Sundays, family package it ranges from 200 to 350. And a bowl, you can get 30 Ghana cedis, a bowl of wachi palatable.
I can
and
see the expression on your face says
yes,
it all.
The secret behind the palatable wachi is that it will even marvel you, because I don't use Maggi. I use only shrimp, my shito, my stew, and it's very palatable. Yesterday you ate some.
Okay, I am looking forward to tasting some myself.
I will bring
performing Amamrima Adesha Agufoma. The group is called Amamrima Adesha Agufoma, and I have the leader of the group. That's the one behind the master drum, Abraham Sapon.
Okay.
And also the dance and drum instructor. That's Mr. Kofili Tete and all the team. Lord Sapon is here. The dancer is called Kitihima.
Yeah, she has been training our children.
Okay, and I see on the team you have a really, really, really young member on the team, the young lady over there. Who is she?
That's my second daughter, and she's my media personnel.
Oh,
She
I
has
see.
been my staff and editing.
Can we get her voice? Would you want to say hello to our listeners? She's a she's the youngest member of the team, and she's here in the studio today.
Yeah, she'll speak like you.
Okay, young lady, tell us your name.
My name is Samuela.
I can't hear you.
We're talking celebrate.
Use this one.
I'm Samuela.
Samuela.
Yes.
Okay, so do you enjoy what mommy does?
Yes.
Really? Are you sure?
Yes.
Would you want to be like mommy someday?
Yes.
You're inspired by mommy's work and profession.
Yes.
Are you into Ghanaian music, traditions, and all that as well? Have you tried dancing, drumming?
Yes, I tried dancing. She taught me how to play pianos, the flute, the traditional instruments, like the and yeah. So I like what she does, and one day I want to be like her.
Okay, so you play the flute, you play the piano already, and hopefully we're bringing you back specially on our show so you can come do some playing for us. Okay, so thank you, Samuela, for coming in with mommy. Madam Salamatu, it's been an honor, it's been a privilege to really have you here in our studios. Thanks for making our time to be here with us on the Morning Rush.